Bitcoin, the who, the what, the when, and the why. This is Lewis from My Life, My Money, and we will discuss what is Bitcoin. We're going to talk about Bitcoin this episode. So stay tuned, and I hope you learn something, become more familiar with this particular type of cryptocurrency. So let's begin. Bitcoin is a digital currency created in 2008 by a person or group. It's not quite known yet, but is a digital currency created in 2008. Also, Bitcoin is a decentralized currency. Decentralized means a government or authority has no control over the Bitcoin network, over the supply, over the demand. Government or authority cannot control it. A lot of governments do not like Bitcoin because for tax reasons. I do pay capital gains on the Bitcoins that I sold last year, but some people don't. Also, the government can't control Bitcoin. That's one of the reasons why the government don't like it. The government like to control all the currency or money in its country. Bitcoin also has a problem with energy use. It takes a lot of energy to create and use Bitcoin on a normal basis, but we go get into that later. Let's go to the next slide. What is Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin allows for a peer-to-peer transaction with no admin. So person A can send or receive money to person B with no middleman. So you don't have to, in today's society, to send money, you have a person A, you have a banking system, that'll be a person B, and you have the end user, that'll be a person C. With Bitcoin, you take those three people and just make them two. It's you who's sending money and the person receiving money. That's why Bitcoin is so important. Bitcoin can be exchanged for money, products, or services. The price of Bitcoin is set by the users and is based on a supply and demand concept. Bitcoins can be purchased and stored from an application called a wallet. A wallet is available on different platforms like your cell phone or your desktops. Or people can purchase Bitcoin through a exchange like Coinbase, Webull, or Robinhood. There will only be 21 million Bitcoins produced by the year 2140. Currently, right now, they have 18 million Bitcoin in circulation. So Bitcoin has a supply cap. So imagine when we get closer to the max number, the supply goes lower. So hopefully the demand go up, but that's only a theory. But Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer transaction technology from person A to person B with no middleman. Bitcoin uses a network of millions of computers to process the transactions. Anybody who processes transaction will receive a reward. The reward is a small amount of Bitcoin for processing these transactions. This process of processing transaction is called mining. There are many different companies and people mining for Bitcoins or processing transaction on a Bitcoin network. The technology is almost fraud free because you have people all around the world looking at this one transaction to process. And you need all these different computers to agree on this one transaction so it could be legit. So it's almost impossible to scam it currently. And just remember, Bitcoin has no admin. There's no person in control of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is owned by the people, processed by the people, and used by the people. When is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is right now. This system processes millions of transactions every single day. It allows for discrete transaction and mass acceptance. What I mean by mass acceptance, People all over the world can send and receive Bitcoin. It is estimated that Bitcoin has between 25 million and 460 million users. That is a big range, but remember, since Bitcoin is kind of discrete, you don't know the actual number, you just know how many people are using it. Worldwide today, there are a few countries banning Bitcoin currently. Egypt, Morocco, Algeria, and Bangladesh are just a few countries they are banning Bitcoin. Just like I said in the last slide, Bitcoin has between 25 million and 460 million users. There are some countries that's banning Bitcoin right now: Egypt, Morocco, Bangladesh, just to name a few. Currently, right now, as of 2021, remember we talked about mining and processing transaction? China processed 76% of Bitcoin transaction on a mass scale, followed by 10% in Malta, 3% in the US, and 3% in the Czech Republic. So China is the number one processor of Bitcoin transactions currently. So just remember, when you process transactions, you get a reward. That reward is small pieces of Bitcoin. So the more transactions you can process, the more rewards you receive, and the more Bitcoins you receive by processing transactions. All right, here's my opinion about Bitcoin, the good and the bad. Just remember, I do own some Bitcoin myself, so I may be a little biased. But Bitcoin concept is very powerful. It allows for error-free transactions and user verification all in the platform. For example, if Bitcoin technology was applied to, let's say, the election, there's no way you could create fraud votes or fraud numbers, because every person who voted, the user was verified, and the process of how they voted was verified across millions of computers just for that one vote. So the technology on Bitcoin is priceless. That's why I believe it may be here to stay. Only way Bitcoin will move if the government put the hands into it, like some countries are doing it. Also, Bitcoin is valuable because it creates a currency outside a government or controller group. You have groups like OPEC, the USA, the dollar, the Public Utility Commissions. Those organizations control prices of goods and products. Bitcoin is not controlled by no organization. It's controlled by the people, and it's based on supply and demand. Another valuable thing about Bitcoin is it's an upside in money. Last year, Bitcoin, just say, was at $3,000, and by the end of last year, it hit $45,000. From $3,000 to $45,000. That's a lot of upside. That could have bought somebody a car if you had just a little money in Bitcoin. All right, now, with everything good comes some bad stuff. Let's speak, now this is my opinion. Let's speak about the bad stuff with Bitcoin. Energy consumption. To mine Bitcoin uses a lot of processing power. Those computers suck up a lot of energy, a huge amount of energy. So we know what China doing over there. So with China processing 76% of Bitcoin, and they still using coal and all these fossil fuels, a lot of that pollution goes up in the air, and we breathe it and we eat it. Another downfall of Bitcoin is the ease of illegal transactions. Instead of sending cash for some cocaine, drugs, or wherever you're doing, you can send Bitcoin very easily, very swiftly. And since Bitcoin is accepted worldwide, you just took the middleman out. You didn't have to do no wire transfers. You didn't have to ship or handle cash. You just hit a couple of buttons on that on your phone. The person got the cash. Very discreet. Another drawdown. Well, another bad thing about Bitcoin is price swings. Just like I talked about earlier, from 3,000 to 45,000, that is a big swing. But if something could go up, it could go down just like that. So imagine how we jump from 3,000 to 45,000, and that means it's reasonable to go to 45,000 back to 3,000. You see what I'm saying? So that's another risk of Bitcoin. Also, the biggest risk of them all is government ban. Government like to control the money. They have to control the money because money controls the whole world. So if you have a platform that's billions, it could be $1 trillion something of money that's not government involved, that could disrupt the whole system. Like you could say countries just imagine a country, India. Indian people, they don't make that much money in India. So imagine an Indian person bought $3 of Bitcoin 10 years ago. And how much that $3 of Bitcoin will be worth now. And you may not pay no taxes on it. You see why they may ban stuff? But again, this is my summary of Bitcoin. This is my life, my money. Go back to the slides if you want to learn some more information. And this is only my opinion. This is not financial advice. I'm just giving you what it is, you know. I'll talk to y'all guys later.